Are you feeling stuck at the minute? This is a lot of information I get from people who I work with from clients and with friends and family. Everybody, it's reading into the collective, certainly at the moment, and for a long time. We often get people saying, well, I feel so stuck. I don't know what to do. I'd like to do this, that, and the other, especially us spiritual in the spiritual community and people working towards the new earth and ascension. But why is that? Why do we tend to feel stuck and we can't move forward? I got a card this morning. For those on who can see it, it's a Collect Baron Reed card, and it is being called "Stuck in the Mud." And there's a huge elephant stuck in the mud. I actually had a client yesterday as well who this just, I could see the heaviness. I could see their legs wading through all this stuckness, all this gloop, all this mud. Welcome to the Shifting Realities podcast. I'm your host, Julie Allison, and with me is my co-host and friend, Robert Perry.
Hi
And
there.
this is what we're going to talk about today. So, are we all stuck, or are some of us able to move forward? So what could be the reason for us moving stuck? I'll throw this over to Rob first, because I know Rob has some incidences that we have with maybe clients.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, Julie, we're all stuck at some point.
Mm.
We're none of us free of that. Some of us are able to move more easily than others and can sort of see our way out of the mud. But, and you'll find this, I know that we get clients all the time who seek you for a particular reason. So they've arrived at a point in their life where they need something resolved. It's not always something tangible, but often it is, something absolutely practical in their lives. But they will work with you, and they'll commit time to you, and they will commit money to you, resource to you, energy to you, because money's energy. But they don't do any work in the process, so they remain stuck in that mud. And it's really difficult to get them through it sometimes. Trying I find myself going back onto pre-spiritual training, so business trainings of, mirroring coaching and, allowing you to reflect and just reflecting it back so that you reach your own decisions. And, that's okay. I don't mind doing that if that's what works in a given situation, but it's not what I'm here for, and it's not what you're here for, and it's not really what the clients come for. But it can be really hard to find people who are stuck, and in some cases quite like being stuck. I think that's one of the
Yes,
problems for me,
yes,
is there's a certain satisfaction, and it goes back to the old victimhood thing, doesn't it?
it
Of,
does.
I'm stuck here, I can't get out of this, it's my situation, you can't tell me how to get out of this. Well, yeah, I can, but you have to listen and you have to do the work, which is often really challenging
It
because it
is.
will trigger you left, right, and center.
Mm.
And
Mm.
it's those triggers I'm looking for, because that's where I need to work. It's like,
Mm.
I don't know, you're a massage therapist, so it's
Yeah,
like finding a pressure point,
yeah. We
a
call them
knot
trigger
that
points.
needs releasing.
We actually call them
Yeah.
trigger points, Rob, that are
Well, there
knots.
you go.
Stuck
Didn't know.
knots, stuck in the body. Yeah,
Did not
that's
know
what we
that.
call them in the
Yeah,
fascia. Mm.
absolutely. Or if you're into Chinese medicine,
Mm.
acupuncture,
Yeah,
how you
blocks.
just put that tiny pin into the energy blocks
Yeah,
to
it's like
allow
a
energy
block.
to flow again. So we're doing that on a spiritual level, and we need to identify the trigger points.
Yes.
So if you come to us and you are triggered and you can't cope with that trigger, then I will probably not work with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm afraid it's as simple as that, because I've got only so much energy and you've only got so much energy. And if we aren't using our energy to purpose, then why are we doing it?
Mm. Mm.
Yeah. Do you
Okay.
have that with
Yes, I
clients? Yeah.
do. It sounds awful, but it gets so frustrating, doesn't
Mm.
it? Sometimes I check whether that's just a reflection on me, but
Yeah.
sometimes it just is this where what I find is people, it's when you're stuck in the past. So everything that's happened, I've had this, what I'll hear people say. So where, as a as a therapist, if you like, on the other side,
Yeah.
sort of working with the client, you'll get the client, you say, okay, what's going on? What would you like me to, how would you like to help at the moment? And the client will go through all the story, all this victimhood story. Well, it's like this, and I'm special. It's different for me because this is happening, that's happening. I feel so tired with what's going on. I'm so exhausted because nothing's changing and I'm still stuck. No matter what I do, I'm still stuck. All the other things can, we're saying this in jest, even though this is things that I've said in the past, but I've realised how I say it, and every time I do say it now, I'll immediately come out of it. And other things of when we'll say things like, when XYZ happens, when the business takes off, then I'll feel happy, or then it'll feel better, or it'll only be better if that person changes. That person is doing this to me. Feel very, very let down by this person, don't like what they're doing. Can you see all these things that all the things we've said to you in the past in these podcasts is everything is written by you. Everything's a script. It's you writing the movie. So what we need to do here is completely change things around. If you don't want to be stuck, don't be stuck in your old programming, the old conditioning, all the karma that's just false. None of it is real. The lessons we have is how we're coming away from all the falseness, and we're coming back to our truth and back to our sovereignty. Now I can't say it. And that's it, to come back to ascension. Why, Rob and I said before, why are we making things so simple and just getting on with things? And so, what I really see here, and I'm people pleasing. Sorry, I just need to put this out. Where we're people pleasing, we feel so stuck in the mud. You can understand this comes up in health problems as well. So even as a therapist, as a massage therapist, and I do lymphatic drainage, people are feeling so heavy. And you can immediately see it's the energy that's heavy in them, because although they're they're wanting to keep control of their whole lives, the only thing I would say that you can be in control of is you. And you do that, the lovely control, balanced control, comes through understanding and moving away beyond the 3D humanness, and understanding when you work with your consciousness, with the higher source than you, which isn't really, it is you. When you understand, working from, let's call it the 5D even, that is when you get all these lovely messages, the downloads, and that's where you get your answers from. And that's what we love to work with clients, when this the aha moment, when we're working, when we're telling them, even if you haven't known, you've been saying all the problems and being the victim. I've done it. I did it last week to somebody with a business thing. I could hear myself being the victim. But what I did was pick myself up immediately by that afternoon and the next day. Just shed it. I just wanted to release it all and get going with some of the work on my business. And I think this is what actually happens, don't you think, Rob? It's because we're scared. We've got that
Yeah.
old programming in us to keep us small. And we have that innate thing in us, that innate knowing that we do have some work to do in terms of us sharing information with others. Say with you, you might be, as a healer, in any respect, that you have this exchange to give, this how I would see it, data codes inside you that you need to share with others. And when you work in alignment with that, so this is working in alignment with your mission and purpose, when you just start that first hurdle. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to have had it all sorted and all singing, all dancing right at that time. Just make that first start. And it will be very, very scary because what you're doing is up leveling. You activating or reactivating who you really are. So you're moving towards the truth and away from the false. But the false is very comfortable, isn't it, Rob? You feel very
Yeah,
comfortable in it.
yeah,
And so,
absolutely.
yeah,
If you watch TV at the moment, there's lots
yeah.
of programs about upcycling.
Mm,
So someone will go to a tip and rescue a tragic piece of furniture that
yes.
someone's discarded, and they'll take it to someone for an outrageous amount of money. They'll make it something extraordinary and sell
Yeah.
it in a bougie shop for, a big amount of money. We're kind of doing the same thing.
Yes.
We're
Yes.
taking, let's not say discarded furniture. That's perhaps a little harsh, but we're taking people who have not progressed past that 1960s chest of drawers.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yeah.
we're giving them a fresh coat of paint, and we're giving them a sand, and we're giving them a polish. But most importantly, we're putting new energy into them.
Yeah.
We're putting
Yeah.
contemporary energy into them so that a contemporary person with a new set of ideas and thinking and energies might be attracted by that piece of furniture that
Mm,
otherwise would have just been crushed and pulped.
mm,
Odd
yeah.
analogy, but that's kind of how I feel about it, really.
I
You
like
know, it,
that. Yeah.
yeah, it's not, that sounds superficial. I don't mean it to sound superficial, but it is for me. It's the reciprocity. It's exchanging energy.
Hmm.
So if I put energy into you, if I download energy that I have into you, you need to do something with that energy. You don't
Yes.
have to give it back to me, but you need to do something with it.
Yes.
So you need to reflect it in your life. And you do
Mm,
that by making steps to fix whatever you came to me to fix.
mm,
So by letting go of something, by recognizing old habits and just letting them go one by one.
mm,
So as you fix the drawer in that chest of drawers, there's maybe one thing you sort out,
mm,
and so on as you fix the piece of furniture until
mm,
you are more of who you want to be.
mm,
And you can upcycle that piece of furniture, and in 20 years' time, there might be another TV program that wants you to upcycle it again because it's no longer relevant.
mm,
So we're doing that. We're upcycling energies the whole way to keep in tandem with the energies of the earth as they
mm.
rise.
Exactly.
And we just want you to come along and to enjoy
Yes.
it and to be proud of who you are,
Yes.
and to really
Yes.
be able to shine your own energy out
Yeah.
like that lovely upgraded piece of furniture that is so desirable,
Yeah.
and not sit there going, "Oh, I'm a chest of drawers that nobody wants anymore because my nan had me and I'm tired." It's step out of it. You don't have to be there. You can be something
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're still yourself,
Yeah.
but you are
I
something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that analogy because
Okay.
people do feel, again, has anybody thought of this or said this to themselves? I feel an outcast. I don't feel like I belong. So you
Yeah,
feel like that outcasted piece of furniture.
I'm on the dump. Yeah, yeah,
Nobody wants me. Nobody
yeah,
loves me.
yeah.
Nobody wants my services. What is going on? What is going on here? Nobody
Mm.
wants these. I've got so much to give, but nobody's giving it. But are you actually stepping forward, moving forward, and telling people what you do? Or are we just, thinking, oh, do you know what? Even though it's not a very nice, comfortable, do you know what? I feel comfortable as this piece of old furniture. I've always been like this.
Yeah.
Please don't stop. No, I don't like the change. No, change is not good. Oh no, I don't like that. And we just, we sort of, it's a lot of avoidance as well. We just resist so much, that we avoid things. I was saying earlier, before I knew all the tools to work through, let's call them blocks in the first place, but now it's just a case of honestly just deciding to drop this old program, just like a computer system on a computer. If you've got an old program and then you hear people going, have you heard about this fantastic new, all singing, all dancing, bells and whistles, new program? And you want to use this new program, you have got to upgrade. You've got to take steps to upgrade that program to the all singing, all dancing bit, or to the new upcycled furniture. But you've got to do that work. You've got to be accountable for that. And so I've said it myself. I used to watch all the soaps and used to say all the dramas and used to say, oh, I like watching them because it's better than my life. It's, or you're watching them because it's worse than my life or whatever.
Yeah.
Instead of what I do now, I never watch them now unless I'm at somebody else's house and they're watching them, to avoid for avoidance. Is because I know I do the work, even if it's watching a video at the time or reading a book to expand my knowledge and expand my soul into the next level growth. And this is why we need to say in a way right now is that why sometimes when we talk about being spiritual and spirituality, it's not all love and light, because the love and light is just, I always feel, is just staying in the same place. We have to observe, see the darkness. So anything that's coming up in our lives that we don't like, it's there to tell us, like Rob was saying, it's there for us to look at and deal with and alchemize. We're all alchemists, every one of us. We just alchemize that. But it's up to you whether you've talked about this before, and I've said it myself, is it's up to you whether you think it's a long journey. It's a journey with no destination. If you think it is hard, or this is just such hard work, I have said it time and time again, and I've stopped saying it now because every time I say it, the guides tell me off. So this is what happens when you work with guides. When you say something, the guides will tell you, "What are you doing, Julie? What are you saying to yourself?" Because it's a spell. If you've written into your program that it's going to be hard work, that it's going to take a long
Yeah.
time. We've spoken to somebody, writing books, and we think that's going to take a long time. Yeah, I've observed and I've seen lots of people out there writing books when they work with a download, when they work connected with the source, higher self, etc., that it just downloads, and they can do it in 2 weeks. They can actually write the book itself within whatever 2 weeks or however long it takes. It doesn't have to be months and months. That's a 3D. That's like that physical, the thing we think we're going to see. I just want to say also, it's almost having that magic. As soon as we let go and allow ourselves to up level, even if it's scary, then the magic unfolds and things just start coming to us. Again, we're saying this because we experience it, and this is what happens as soon as you just stop being in the 3D control. All of the control is based on your conditioning and your old programming, and as soon as you just allow yourself to go, that's when you start being in alignment with your purpose and your mission. The piece about being stuck, I remember as well. The health wise is, if you're feeling stuck, your body will feel stuck as well. Will feel this heavy, like the heavy elephant stuck in the mud. You might put on weight and not be able to take it off. You might feel that you're all tired all the time, and that's because, as Rob said, you're not doing the exchange. You're not just up leveling slightly. It doesn't have to be a full up level. It can just be slightly. That's okay as well. But just do it. Just create that exchange, that lovely reciprocity, to create the balance. Just give out what you feel you need to give out, not what you think other people will do because they'll like you more. Not that. But just just so that you're actually sharing. This is what happens with missions, is that once you have that calling, don't you? You have that calling, whether it's just being a healer in a local physical environment, or whether you want to do it online. I think nobody cares. I think you just know what you need to do. But it's going to be scary, and that's all the reason to jump in, to jump quantum leap that version of you into the next version of you. Do you agree, Rob, with that?
I do, absolutely. And I think it's really important to just keep in mind that trigger points are only that.
Mm.
They're just
Mm.
points. And by addressing them, they're often really easily resolved or let go of. So there's no need to fear that you're going to be challenged. and that you're going to be doing this forever and you might never get anywhere. And, do you actually, is your heart really in it?
Mm.
There's a true line for you. Is your heart
Mm.
truly in it? Because all this happens from your heart, not from your brain. It's a commitment,
Mm.
but it
Yeah.
should be, if you find the right person to work with, it should be a very joyful commitment.
Mm.
And there should be fun in the process.
Yes.
And as you make all these little steps in self-realization and self-growth, it's really empowering and exciting, and you want to go further and you want to do more. So there is nothing to fear other than not making the change. Because that for me is the scary thing, is deciding that, I am an elephant stuck in the mud and frankly I'd rather be here because it's quite comfy.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, don't people feel sorry for me. Poor me.
Mm.
I'm such a
Mm.
victim of my circumstance. Well, yeah, sure. If you want to stay there, that's entirely your choice. I can't force you out of it. But I mean, really, is that where you want to be? Honestly? No, of course it isn't. So do some work, get one leg out of the mud,
Yeah.
phone someone, get on a call, find someone that you want to work with, and just start the process,
Yes.
at your own pace.
Mm.
It is the most rewarding thing. And, I say it's the most rewarding thing and it'll be lovely and it'll be fun. I also, my own beliefs, it's absolutely essential.
Yes.
Because
That's
if
the
you
thing.
don't start this work now, you are going to be left behind.
Mm. Mm.
And that's not some dire threat coming from the cosmos. It's just the vibration is changing, and if you don't change with it, you won't progress, and you will stay with the dinosaurs,
Mm.
unfortunately. And again, that's freedom of choice, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's not a choice I would recommend, but it
Mm.
is your choice.
Mm.
So just think, what do you want to be? Do you want to be stuck in the mud, like a dinosaur in a tar pit? Or do you want to spring out of that and go, wow, what's next? What's the next step in my evolution? Let's
Mm.
be that. Because there is no point in remaining in one place at all. It's not why we're here. And whatever your life purpose is, it clearly isn't to stay in one place and be sorry for yourself.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. So
Mm.
pull yourself together in old language, stiff upper lip in British language, just get on with it.
Yeah.
Honestly, stop hanging about and waiting for something to happen.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
Mm.
Here ends the lesson.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
myself and Rob, so we've done some, I've been doing my work since about 2016. Rob the same. He wanted to do more, got, he'd been a client, and I love the fact, somebody can be a client and then just, absolutely fly the nest. And we decided just, Rob just said, why don't we do a podcast? And we're nearly, not
Yeah.
far off, nearly up to a year now. And
Yeah.
there might be somebody saying, "Oh, you should be giving it up by now, or whatever." We
Why?
feel like we just want to
Yeah.
fly, and do more. And here's the vulnerability part. It's not something. We still feel. Last week I had a bit of a niggle. A bit
Mm.
of scary moment. I'm going to say this, and this is what can happen. We need to just tell the truth. That is in me. That is in Rob. We absolutely need to tell the truth, be our own truth, and be as much as we can our sovereign selves. We know I'm not perfect. I know I've got many things that I need to, I'm going to say, clear or move forward and away from in terms of all the falseness. That's just part of being human. Still some dark things to see and observe. And last week I had a little wobble that, because we need to tell the truth, because we're going to be we are already, I feel, a little bit controversial, and you've got people out there that I would be thinking, here's my resistance. What are people going to think of me? What are people going to think
Mm.
of us if we're, for instance, we talked about modalities the other week in one of our podcasts. There'll be lots of people who feel very much, well, about, say, Reiki or whatever, that it's very much, well, I did Reiki and it helps me and whatever. Absolutely. We're not saying
Mm.
don't do Reiki, but we're saying, have you checked that what you're working on is working towards your new, your new version of yourself, or are you keeping it stuck into a version that is just the old, I don't know, let's work on chakras or whatever, something like that.
Yeah.
I won't go into all of that. But yeah, so I had this niggle, and almost to the extent where you want to give up. There's a lot of people out there, you'll give up before you get the gold. You give up before you alchemize the lead
Mm.
into gold. And you know what I was going to say now is never give up. I remember this many years ago in what I did before I knew all of how to use spiritual tools, 5D tools. Um, I never give up, no matter what people said. I didn't get any qualifications at school. I've mentioned this to somebody the other day. Didn't get any qualifications at school. Went on to get a 2-1 honours degree. Have been a lifelong learner. Got a multitude of healing modalities. So I know what I'm talking about here. I've been on good and bad courses, and all is absolutely okay. Been on courses where we're promised all sorts, but maybe it's me. Maybe I've not used it right. But inside me, there's that niggly feeling. If there's inside you, that niggly feeling, there's just still something else to do.
Mm.
And so after my little wobble last week of, oh, what will people think? And I'll have to just go with it. I don't worry about what people think, if they don't like what I'm saying, because that's okay. As Rob said before, if it triggers you, I'm liking that because there's something in that. If there's something I'm saying that triggers you, look into it. There's something that you might need to observe, look into the darkness with. So I'm quite happy, as I said, I'm quite happy that that will trigger you, and we've got to carry on, with our truth. Otherwise, if we just worked in love and light all the time and just said it's all happy, everything's so happy all the time, and it's not about not being happy, because the happiness comes again, it just comes from within. But we still, it comes from within so that we can navigate a better 3D world for ourselves, the better navigation of all the physical things that come on. It initiates from your thoughts and your imagination, your spiritual side of you. Please remember that. So yeah, so I got another card as well as the stuck in the mud. My next card, lovely, was about movement. It's still a Colette Baron Reid. It was about movement. I've got I think it's an ostrich or an
It's an
emu. I don't
ostrich.
think
Yeah,
it's an
it's an ostrich.
ostrich. I won't
Yeah,
argue.
with its head out of the sand.
With head out to the sand,
Yeah.
and where something doesn't make sense, it's actually got what looks like an island on top of it. Doesn't make sense. That is the other thing. Move, no matter what sense it makes, even if it doesn't feel, it makes a 3D sense. That's when the magic unfolds. You might be trying to say, I want to move here because I want XYZ to happen. And that's okay. What is it you want? That's absolutely fine. But what if there's absolutely more, much more than you could ever imagine out there, more than you in this version of yourself can even think of? So just let the magic unfold, but make a move. Go to people who can help you. Me and Rob can help. We love to work to get you connected with your own, call it soul, higher self, source, whatever you want to call it. It does not matter, where you can work with the guides. And if like me last week, my guides had a word with me when when I had a wobble. My guides have a word with me, and that's how I easily now just make sure it may only last a day. That's okay. Instead of me, being swamped under the victimhood forever and a day, because that's because that's what we've always done. No, we don't need to do that anymore. That's part of us being the upcycled furniture. That's part of being
Yeah.
the new human, the superhuman, is moving towards that. But we've got to be brave enough, got to not worry about being scared, but the scarcity, anything. We've just got to move forward. Yeah.
Absolutely. And don't look at the end game, because there's always
Mm.
more.
Yes.
Yeah. The more you
Yes.
learn, the more you realize there is just more, always
Mm.
more.
Mm.
And that's part of this incredibly blessed journey we're on,
Yeah.
is that there's
Yeah.
always more to reach for. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exciting times if you
Yeah.
choose to travel.
It's your choice. It's
Mm.
all choices.
Mm.
Everything. You might not think it. but just ask the word, have a word with the guide. It is all choice. It's all written for you. You can just pick the version that you want by doing some actions and moving forward and thinking differently, and
Yeah.
acting differently, behaving differently. Lovely. So what we're going to ask is please either subscribe, follow us, like us, share us
Share
with
us.
anybody else.
Yeah.
Please share. And we want to get this message out there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got over my worried about what people are saying thing now. Yeah, lovely. Please share us. And we will see you with whatever topic we decide on and what's in the energy, in the current
Next
collective
week.
energy
Yeah.
next week. Goodbye for now.
Take care.